The language in this report is being interpreted differently by different people. Some activists say it's not strong enough, but where do you stand?
Do I wish for stronger language like the genocide and crimes, definite crimes against humanity? Yes, definitely. But at the same time, China is a very powerful. I wasn't expecting genocide language to be deployed in that sense. But despite the Chinese government's lobbying against this report, economic and political coercion, the report still came out pretty strong. So I think it's a strong indictment on China's crimes against humanity.
In a way, the release of this report does feel like a watershed moment, but what sort of accountability mechanisms can we look to in the future to actually improve lives for the victims and their families?
While the report asked the Chinese government to take concrete action, I think that concrete action can only be demanded by the international community through our constant calling out and as well as monitorship. And increasingly, we're seeing national courts using their universal jurisdiction, allowing victims to sue countries for just spoken crimes, crimes against humanity, genocide, or war crimes as such. So I hope that many countries that lend their extraterritorial jurisdiction to victims of crimes against humanity would also extend the same to the Uyghurs.
Bachelet came under a lot of fire earlier this year for delaying the release of this report, making a trip to China that many saw as very tightly controlled by the authorities. So, at the end of the day, when you look at this report, do you think that her and her office have done a good job?
The report is a very detailed analysis that reflects the multidimensional aspect of this crisis, from family separation to the forcible factories and just so much more. I think it is a very strong report condemning the Chinese government's crimes against humanity, but most importantly, I was heartened to see that the report ends with gratitude to survivors and victims who actually told the truth to the world despite knowing the tremendous risks. As a lawyer, but also as a victim's family member, I would love to see even stronger term of condemnation. But under the circumstances, given China's economic influence, political and diplomatic coercion at the UN, I think despite all of that, we still got a pretty strong report. That says a lot because this crisis in itself is at a scale that we haven't seen.